Has anyone ever actually read a crypto press release here?
Very straightforward. Do press releases work for crypto projects?
No. And that's based on a lot of data. No. They work at wasting companies' money. But if by working you're referring to do they have a return on investment for a business, most definitely not.
And if not, why?
It's well, that's a big question. So let's just go through the facts as to how I know they have no impact on the brand. So as part of our building our transparency scores, as part of training IRMA, we've analyzed more than 2,000 press releases over a period of 6 months to determine how much traffic they would have generated for a brand. And we used multiple sources to make the prediction for what the traffic would have been. Statistically speaking, 0 is the number that the vast majority of them got them in terms of value. Occasionally, there's a 1 or 2, maybe 3 people that see it. And out of that entire selection that was randomly chosen, only 1 of them had any meaningful traffic out of that entire bunch. So that's how I know they have no impact for the brand, because no one reads them.
The counter argument to this would be that it's not only a matter of quantity. What do you answer to that?
If nobody sees your advertising, it has no value. And as brands generally pay several $1,000s to get a press release on Cointelegraph or one of those other crypto sites, it's an epic waste of money. And it's an epic waste of time for the team that's dedicated to writing this release, and for nothing. All right, for nothing.
If we get to the core of a press release or a PR strategy in general, what do you think is the purpose, or what should be the purpose?
Well, you've asked me 2 conflicting questions there in the same question. So you asked me what is the purpose of PR, and then you asked me about what is the purpose of a press release. So traditionally, a press release was something that is a legal fact companies needed to put out in regards to what they were doing within their business, as it may affect the price of their share. And it was done so that everyone would notice, and there'd be a trail for the publicly available information that a company was putting out. That was the purpose of a press release. In crypto, it became a way for websites or media, whatever you want to call it, to sell article space, which in traditional marketing we would have called sponsored media. And sponsored media had a low CPM. Just in crypto, you're generally dealing with people who don't have much professional experience, and they bought into this narrative that it was valuable, and they continued to buy into it, and other people continue to buy into it because they see it happening as marketers, but they're not asking the question, what is the actual returns on that bit of media? So that's the story of the press release and the history of it. Now, to the other part of your question, which what is the purpose of PR? PR has a direct impact on your brand. And branding is what people feel when they interact with your brand, when they see your brand. And that's what PR is about. It's about taking people on these experiences so that you improve the brand narrative wherever it may be. There are a number of ways to do that. I don't think there is anyone in crypto, with the exception of Bitcoin or maybe Satoshi, that has had very good PR or full stop. But that's the purpose of what it's meant to be for a brand. We see lots of cheap, poorly executed strategies in other parts of PR, like brand endorsements is an example of that. But I can't really put my thumb on any example of good, exceptional PR in the space.
That's interesting, because when you talk with Web3 founders or crypto founders, most of the time PR is everything they want to talk about. Why do you think it's like that?
Well, I think we did a video on this previously, Raf, where I talked about how most founders want to play a character or a persona of a founder. And for them, seeing their quoted news, even though they might be the only ones who see it, really makes them feel good about themselves, right? So it's a very selfish, egotistical, I think, drive behind it. But look, maybe that answer I gave you is a little bit negative. I think the reality of it is there's a misunderstanding of it in the space. I think there's a belief that, oh, someone else is doing this, we should have to do that. Doing the marketing checklist and comparing yourself to the competitors, and people just go through it and tick that off. In crypto, and I mean, I guess this is true everywhere, everyone's very selective with the data they want to look at when they're assessing things as well too. And so I think press releases or crypto PR gets an easy pass.
But then based on this, why, when I'm meeting a PR company or a PR agency, they can show me big numbers and they can show me basically that my article can be in more than 50 or more than 100 different websites. Isn't it a good thing?
If no one sees your media, who cares? Right? Selling article space on a website is easy. If no one reads it, it doesn't matter. And let's say people were reading it, if they don't go on to take the action that you want them to take, which is probably to buy a token, or is positively to think more positively about your service so that you buy it, it has no value. The companies out there that are selling for 15K, and while I say this, as part of our research, I sat through a ton of the pitches from these companies. Very unethical people, right? Very, very unethical people. Charging 15K for this. They will give wrong information about SEO impact. They will give egotistical answers, maybe to try to get people to want to buy based on their feelings of something, but it has no real effect. And one of the reasons why we want to include this as part of the transparency score and some of the other things that we're bringing out is if you're investing in a token, if you're investing in a project, you want to know that the people who have your money, and even if you're buying tokens and the project has that money, they have your money, are spending their cash and time effectively. And if you see repeat performance of activities that are just going nowhere, that might be something you want to think about as part of your investment strategy. And on the other side, the companies that are doing the right thing, who are doing experiments, who are looking at how they're improving the ROI of their experience for their customers, we want to be able to reward them as well.
So how does VaaSBlock assess the efficiency of a press release?
Well, we are a little bit more generous in terms of our traffic estimates than a lot of the professional tools out there, and we've done that deliberately for now. But fundamentally, we actually will call Google. We will call Google. We will call Google for the term in multiple locations for multiple keywords that relate to the company, and we will first of all try to find these articles, which has proven to be quite troublesome. Second of all, we will put them up depending on how difficult they are, depending on the quality of the content that's in there, depending on what it's contained, and the external research. We will calculate an estimate for how much traffic that is generated and how much value that traffic is worth. And I will say that again, our method is more generous than, say, Ahrefs, than, say, SEMrush data, because we want to be fair. So if you see our number and you go look it up on one of these other tools, you're probably going to see an even worse result than what we're hypothesizing that this achieved based on all the sampling and the research that we did.
I've met a PR company that told me that because my project has no SEO value at the moment, I need a lot of articles. Is that true?
So generally for SEO, you want backlinks. Backlinks are a demonstration of voter confidence to a search engine these days, to the LLMs. It's one of the ways to do it, that you're a trustworthy website. But not every link is the same, right? You want links from high quality domains. High quality domains are generally those that are very hard to get information on, that are very contextually relevant to what you were selling, what you were providing. It needs to be unique content, right? And the page that the link comes from needs to actually have traffic to really have any true SEO value. So no, what you're being told is very likely fake news.
We have one client that came to us with an offer from Forbes that was 5 articles on their platform for only $15,000 US. We told them it was probably a bad idea, but they wouldn't understand. Can you tell me more about this?
First of all, my understanding is that Forbes doesn't actually sell you articles, but what will happen is a press release, PR agency or whatever they are in the space will say, we can get you on Forbes and we're going to, for X amount of money, we'll write these articles and we'll get them up for you. If you're paying money to get on the site, it's probably not a link that's worthwhile, right? Most likely, no. What is worthwhile is if Forbes is doing a deep dive on a topic, have a real journalist with a big background, and they're looking for quotes, or they're looking for help with research on their story, and your company has experts that can provide it, and they're going to link back to XYZ person, Mary Jane, CTO of XYZ company, and they're going to link to your website there. That probably has some SEO value to it. And the best bit is you won't be paying Forbes. Now, a good PR agency can help you find these opportunities. Journalists are lazy people, right? Like all of us, they're lazy, right? So they will probably reach out to their network and they'll say, hey, we're putting together this story. We need some experts to help us confirm this. Do you know anyone? And the good PR agency will manage these relations and say, actually, I know this company, this person would be fantastic for this reason. That's real. That's an example of real PR, and that's an example of a great link that you would want to chase. And it's fundamentally a great link because the article is going to get traction because the story is newsworthy. Crypto company raises money is not newsworthy. Crypto company partners with crypto company is not newsworthy. Crypto company hires crypto person is not newsworthy. Right? And that's generally what these paper articles are. One of those three situations.